dia também foi muito especial, cheio de visuais maravilhosos. Nossa primeira parada foi em Eli Creek, que, gente, é literalmente um parque de diversões natural, assim. Muita gente, é um lugar mais cheio, né, comparado ao resto dos lugares que a gente foi, mas vale muito a experiência, porque muita gente vai, leva boia ou até mesmo pneu, assim, pra levar até o começo do creek. E aí você, com a correnteza natural daquela água, que é cristalina, pura, perfeita, inclusive potável, tipo, você pode beber aquela água, você vai seguindo ali a correnteza só relaxando e tal, e não parece que você tá num parque de diversões, que a gente vê assim, um parque de diversões, né? Você pegar uma boia e deixar a correnteza te levar. Então foi muito lindo. Eu até experimentei a água, inclusive bebi aquela água de tão pura. E a gente ficou um tempo ali só relaxando. Bem animada, hoje tá muito sol, muito quentinho, um dia lindo. E hoje o Marcos disse que vai fazer uma programação surpresa pra nós, e pelo que eu entendi vão ser várias coisas seguidas. A gente vai em vários lugares lindos, um seguido do outro, vai ser um dia intenso de diversão e paisagens paradisíacas.
Ready when you are. You! At the amazing and famous Eli Creek. As you can see, it's very, very popular. Many people here, and the reason is that this creek is beautiful fresh water. So underneath this island is about 20 Sydney harbours of fresh water, all coming from the mainland, and it's coming underneath the land, and then it bubbles up to the island and then flows out through these creeks. Now this water hasn't seen the light of day for about 200 years. So it's been filtering through the sand for 200 years, and it is pristine fresh water. It's actually been classed as some of the cleanest water on the planet. So yes, you can drink it, no problem at all.
If someone pees, just let us know.
Good clue, good tip.
Just be in front of the person who
Yeah, I would drink the water when you walk up further up the creek. And if the kid's there, don't drink down there. So what we're going to do, guys, I'm going to pump up some of these rings here. We're going to carry them up the boardwalk. Once you get up the end of the boardwalk, you can jump in the creek, float on down. It's a nice relaxing way to spend some time here. And we'll be here for about an hour. Now, Eli is actually an indigenous word, and it means small little crab. So around the sand here you'll find lots of little crabs, and that's what Eli means here. So this creek also is the second largest creek on the island, and unbelievably, there's about 4 million litres of perfectly good drinking fresh water every hour flowing out of this creek.
4 million litres
So
an hour.
that's like unbelievable amounts of fresh water, and that's just one creek. So you can imagine how much water is just flowing into the ocean, which is perfectly good fresh water. So it's a very special island, and that's one of the reasons why they call it paradise. You've got fresh water, beautiful weather and beaches, and plenty of food if you know what you're looking for.
And that's constantly getting replenished from the mainland.
Constantly. So we can have a drought on the mainland, there's no water, hasn't rained for months, so still have loads and loads of water.
If it rained 200 years ago, it's all good.
Exactly. So before any microplastics, anything. So that's why it's so clean. And as you probably know, water filtering through sand is a really good way to filter water. So that's why it's so clean and so fresh.
Amazing.
Drink up.
Gente, olha aqui, estamos num parque de diversões natural. Ai! Bem ajeitado. Olha que legal, agora a correnteza só vai fazer o trabalho dela. A água é um pouco gelada, não é? Fala pra nós.
fresh water.
delícia, gente. Parque de diversões natural, feito pela natureza. E é um ponto de encontro bem popular aqui, como vocês podem ver, ó. A galera gosta, vem todo mundo. É bom pra encontrar gente. Quem quer ver gente, e curtir. Olha agora, bateu sol. Bem refrescante, assim, ó. E fica só boiando até chegar lá embaixo. E essa água pode beber, tá? De tão pura que ela é. Drinkable. Gente, olha que lindo, parece um parque de diversões natural. As pessoas pegam boia e vão descendo com a correnteza até chegar lá na praia. A água é muito pura, cristalina, muito deliciosa. Então essa foi a nossa primeira parada, muito legal. Deu pra dar uma refrescada, o tempo abriu. E agora, será que vem por aí?
Não sei, a gente tá hoje tudo surpresa. Deixamos na mão da Drop Bear Adventures para levar a gente nos lugares aqui e, enfim, ter essa sensação também de não saber o que vai acontecer. A gente acha que é muito irado isso, mas a primeira parada foi incrível. Água refrescante, limpa, pura, bebemos, mergulhamos, fomos na boia. Bom demais para começar, né?
Muito bom. Depois a gente seguiu com os carros para Champagne Pools, que eu acho que foi um dos lugares mais lindos também que eu achei. Eu não sei se todo mundo acha um dos lugares mais lindos, mas eu me identifico, tipo, acho que é uma das coisas mais bonitas. Eu gosto muito de ver piscina natural, né? Eu me encanto quando eu vejo. E a cor daquela água era não era azul, era tipo verde, era um verde esmeralda, assim. Nossa, eu fiquei encantada com as cores daquele lugar, aquela piscina natural. Achei encantador mesmo, foi um dos lugares que eu mais gostei. E pra fechar o dia a gente passou por aquele naufrágio bem famoso que tem bem perto da areia mesmo. E é bem louco assim de ver, imaginar a história. Ele contou a história pra gente de como isso foi parar lá. E outra coisa que eu achei muito legal é que o Mark sempre contava as histórias dos lugares que a gente ia. Então ele contextualizava tudo que aconteceu ali anos atrás. Tem uns lugares que são muito sagrados, principalmente para as mulheres. Então tem lugares especiais de visitar como mulher e imaginar as histórias daquelas mulheres, empoderamento e o sagrado que existe nesses ambientes femininos. Então, muito legal saber as histórias dos lugares que a gente está visitando. E ele também contou a história do naufrágio, por isso que eu lembrei de como ele conta bem as histórias.
Chegamos aqui nas Champagne Pools.
Japanese were like, well, we're going to take this ship back to Japan and we're just going to scrap it. We're just going to use it for scrap metal. Now there's a bit of a conspiracy theory here, because what they believe now is that when the Japanese came down to pick up the ship, they actually did a little reconnaissance mission and they checked out Sydney Harbour, because not long after that the Japanese actually tried to take over this country. So they came down and they had submarines in the Sydney Harbour, and They believed that when they got the ship, they had to look around and check out what was down there. So that was the story behind the Japanese reconnaissance mission. So then the Japanese bought a little tugboat. They hooked the tugboat up to the front of the boat and they started to tow it all the way back to Japan. They took off the propellers. Now, obviously you need big propellers to drive a ship like this, but they took them off because when you tow a ship, when you take the propellers off, it's going to go easier through the water. So they're towing the ship back to Japan, and in July of 1935, a big storm came. This is a very unseasonal thing because in winter, in July, there's hardly any storms. But a big storm came, made huge waves, and snapped the tow rope. So then you got Mahino just bobbing around out at sea, no power. And eventually she washed ashore right there. Now Mahino, incidentally, in Māori language, means island. So there you go. Quite fitting that she ended up on an island. So Mahino, here she is, sitting on the island now. She sat here since 1935, and then in the Second World War, she was used as a bombing target. And you can see over here where Mahino, she got struck right in the middle, right in the belly, and it broke her back. And then the ships would sail past and fire shots at it, and sometimes they miss, so there's shells, like shells of ammunition up in the dunes up here behind us. So back in the day. Now, on a personal note, I have a very close bond with Mahino because when I was a kid, my dad and I would go fishing off Mahino. So it was much more out of the water. So you saw those big blue buses we saw today?
Yeah.
If you stack two of those big blue buses up, that's how much Mahino is under the sand. It was a massive ship, 200 feet long, about 50 feet wide. So when it was further out of the water, we'd sit on the deck there, and on the other side you can see like two little seats about this high, and we'd sit there and we'd fish and catch fish and chill out, sleep on the deck through the night. So yeah.
Eu nunca tinha visto nada tão grande assim naufragado. E ele comentou que antes ficava, anos atrás, ficava muito mais pedaço pra fora, né, do que hoje em dia, que tem muita areia. Eu sempre fico tentando imaginar tudo que aconteceu na história, tipo, tinha pessoas aqui 100 anos atrás, ou 100, posso estar fazendo o cálculo errado. Mas, que loucura, né? Olha como tá. Ele falou pra gente não pisar lá porque pode ser perigoso, mas a gente pode ver de fora. A gente voltou pro nosso Eco Retreat, que são os glampings, né, que a gente ficou hospedado. E foi o momento de provar carne de canguru. Vocês acreditam? Comi carne de canguru e achei uma delícia, inclusive, viu? Então comi meu hambúrguer de canguru pela primeira vez. Achei uma delícia. É bem comum aqui, inclusive, comerem carne de canguru. Não tem nenhum predador que coma, então isso é bem normal, assim, na cadeia alimentar, digamos assim. Inclusive é uma carne que tem que preparar meio mal passado para ficar mais macio. A nossa entradinha foi os serrambis que os meninos pegaram no caminho. Tipo, toda hora que o Mark via, ele parava, pegava no caminho e ele preparou, ficou uma delícia. Eu amei. E aí, nosso terceiro e último dia foi muito especial, gente. Acho que foi o meu lugar favorito de todos, se bobear, que foi o Lake Mackenzie. Eu fiquei encantada. O que é aquela beleza daquele lugar, aquele lago, aquela água azul, só que ao mesmo tempo espelhada, só que ao mesmo tempo transparente, só que ao mesmo tempo não sei explicar. Temperatura da água achei perfeita. A gente ficou muito tempo dentro da água, né? A gente não queria sair da água, não era uma coisa que entra e sai correndo. Infelizmente a gente não pelas normas até do governo, você não pode ficar o dia inteiro lá, né? Então os grupos são divididos pra ficar também não tão cheio, mas a vontade era de ficar o dia inteiro naquele lugar. É paradisíaco esse lago, de verdade. Chegamos no Lake Mackenzie, falaram que é lindo, 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 lindo. Tô bem curiosa pra ver. Foi mais ou menos uns 20 minutinhos da nossa acomodação. 30. Bem divertido, dirigindo ali o 4x4. Mas foi fácil o caminho, não deu tanto slide. Agora quero ver o lake. Vamos?
E aí, chega no Lake Mackenzie para fechar aqui a parte de Fraser Island com chave de ouro. Esse lago aqui é incrível, vocês vão ver. É o ponto principal de Fraser Island, é o pico mais popular aqui, então a gente tentou sair bem cedo hoje para chegar antes dos outros tours e dos outros ônibus com 1 milhão de pessoas, para a gente conseguir curtir a praia com mais privacidade, fazer umas filmagens maneiras, de repente fazer um mergulhinho. Não tem muita vida dentro da água aqui, por ser um lago, né, de nascente, mas a claridade da água é impressionante. Então vamos lá, acho que são 2 minutinhos de caminhada e a gente vai chegar ali.
The water that's in all the lakes on this island is from the sky. So every drop of water in the lake comes from rain, and the way that the water actually stays and doesn't seep through the sand is because in the bottom of the lake there's lots of vegetation. So over time, when it rains, vegetation washes down into the middle of like a big bowl, and that creates like a big plug, and then you end up with a nice sort of impenetrable bottom of a lake, and then it just fills up with rain. So that's why it's so clean and so clear. You've got this beautiful fresh water just from the rain. So this lake is also known as the Waters of Wisdom. So the Bachelor people used to think that when the wind blew across the water, it would impart the wisdom of the lake onto them. It's about 7 meters deep.
I thought it was like from the
Spring.
bottom.
Yeah.
No, isn't?
Lots of people think that the water's going to come up from the bottom,
Yeah.
but it's literally just from the sky.
All right.
So every bit of water is from raindrops. Oh, cool. So yeah, really fresh water, of course, and the sand that we've got here is ancient silica sand. So it's really, really fine, super fine sand. And if you have any silver, any jewelry, it'll shine it up really good. Yeah.
I should have bought all my jewelry.
You should have put your jewelry.
Still
Yeah.
like heavy on the
Yeah.
Well played.
And it'll shine up. Yeah.
You see, I have a feel. Can I bring this to me?
Yeah. It shines up your jewelry.
Try some on the ring.
Yeah, it'll work.
O cantinho tá bem claro lá.
And then if you really want to give yourself a clean, you can get the sand and give yourself a bit of an exfoliate.
Should we do that? Should we become mud men?
You said like here
women.
is
Sorry,
about
mud people.
70 or 80% silica.
You don't want to become a mud
I think so, yeah, about 80%.
80%.
Like in Whitehaven's like 90
98.
something. Yeah, 98. Yeah. So really ancient sand, stripped of all its minerals, and that's why it's so fine. So yeah, this is the beautiful Lake Mackenzie. Here comes the sunshine too.
Sun, yes.
All right,
Perfect.
good.
Mark and Hannah from Drop Bear Adventures. They're receiving us in their eco retreat. So tell us a little bit about the structure you have here, like how it started, what's your goal, and yeah, just
Well, we
About
met
you
right
guys.
about here.
We met
Matt?
right here.
Right
We
here.
met right here.
Yeah, so special. 13 years ago.
13 very short years ago. It all went so quickly.
It went so
It went
quick.
so quickly in this beautiful
And
place.
yeah, we absolutely love it here. So we opened our eco retreat, and it's all about just living simply. So we're on the beautiful 75-mile beach on Gari. Great location, right at the beach, and we absolutely love it. And we've made it our home away from home, and we just love to welcome people to this beautiful place, look after them, feed them well, make sure you've got everything that you need, and hopefully try and teach you a bit about the environment and how to look after it whilst you're here as well, and be a responsible visitor. So I guess that's our company ethos.
Yeah.
We live by Bachelor law, so the traditional owners of Gari, the Bachelor people, they have 3 laws. What's good for the land must come first. If you have plenty, share, and if it's not yours, don't touch or take it. So that's what we live by here, and we've got plenty of beautiful accommodation and
yes, you
lots
can
of
feel
beautiful food. So
Feel the breeze coming down the hallway, and you can look through there. You can see the Pacific Ocean in the background down there.
literally just by the
Just
beach.
right
Yeah.
there by the beach.
Can you show us a little bit?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's
come
have a
on
look
through.
around. Let's have a look around. Yeah, we've got 2 fully equipped kitchens. This guy's enjoying a refreshing beverage. We've got our lunch set up over here.
Julie's having lunch.
Julie's having a little bit of lunch over there. She's always first in.
Got our recycling station. We're all about recycling, doing what we can. We're actually the only company that takes all our recyclable waste off the island, so that it does go into the recycling stream. We've got 7 glamping tents here, some of which are set up as quad chairs, like this one here. Maybe get this one here. It's got all matching lumens. Products we use here are a beautiful company called Zeroco, based out of Byron Bay. They're all made here in Australia with native ingredients. And all the bottles that we use are refill bottles. So you actually have pouches, you refill them, and we send them back. So we're a single-use plastic-free sort of solution for that. It's really important to us. We do beach cleanups on the island every year, and we collect about 50 tons of rubbish every year. 50 tons. So it's really important to us that we don't put any more out in the environment, because we're only going to be the ones picking it up anyway. So we'll try and reduce it whilst we can. We've got our fire pit out the front, which is just a beautiful place to sit around and have a yarn, maybe have a little strum on the guitar. And you've got your own private beach access as well. Amazing spot in the winter, in whale season. You can see the whales breach out the front here, which is just incredible. We absolutely love it. And you can also see the moonrise. It just literally comes right up in front of us here. So if you're here at moonrise, it is a very special time to be here. So yeah, this is our little spot in
little
paradise.
piece of paradise, isn't
Yeah.
The way you
Amazing.
talk about the place is like so
Yeah.
lovely.
It's my
Yeah, we're in
passion.
love with it.
Your connection with the place, it's visible for all of us, and it
Oh,
makes
thank you.
our visit here even more special. You know,
sure.
like you see that like your passion with the place, your passion like to keep the place as it is, and really appreciate you guys to welcome us here, and you know, just have an amazing time on the island and show us around.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure. And you know, Gari's given us so much.
So
And
much.
so we love to give back. And by doing that, we try and keep it clean and look after it. You know, it's rule number 1. What's
I remember when I met
best
this
plan
man,
comes first.
and he said, "I don't think I can do this." And I said, "What do you mean you can't do this? You're great. You're a great tour guide. You tell us beautiful stories." I said, "I just don't know if I can bring more people to a place that I think needs to be more protected." And I said, "That is exactly why I'm going to support you in doing what you need to do, because we've had so many people through these doors that have chosen to come on our experience because of the way we do it. And I hope that we inspire more people in the industry, you know, around the world to just, you know, really embrace that cultural tourism that isn't over-loving a place. And it's up to us as locals and as custodians to guide people to do the right thing whilst they're here. And I've learned a lot from this man, and he's a beautiful storyteller, and love him as part of it.
Richard, come on.
Can you feel the love?
You believe in love now? Yes.
Oh, no, it's been a pleasure, guys. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, we've
You're very
loved it.
welcome. So thanks for coming.
You drop bear.
Come.